Special thanks to these companies for being long-term partners of this channel.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So you're probably already looking at the title of this video and you're wondering why, and we'll get into that, but I just want to say that I'm super pumped for this video. I think these are very unique and I'm really excited to get them on the vehicle and see how they look. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Zach. Here we talk about overlanding gear, builds, DIY, all sorts of stuff related to modifying your vehicle, adventuring, or maybe just off-roading. And today we're going to be doing a pretty awesome upgrade. As you know, I have loved my Alpha X headlights. I still have nothing against them, but an opportunity came up where I could test something different. And I also really like these headlights because they're such a unique look and they're really sharp and they almost give a little bit of a Lexus off-road vehicle vibe, which I really like as well. But they're just something different. Not a lot of people have them, and I'm really excited to test them out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little bit of an unboxing, just show what comes in the packaging, and then we're gonna throw these on the vehicle. Then I'll show you a bit of a light output comparison, and you can see what they look like. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. Consider subscribing if you like this sort of content. Like the video if it brings you any sort of value, and yeah. That really helps me out, helps the channel grow. So let's jump right into that unboxing and then we'll get on with actually checking these out on the truck. So before we throw these on the 4Runner, I just want to show you them out of the box. So each one is wrapped in this plastic and this is what the front looks like. So I got the clear side lens option for the Signal. They got this nice saran wrap on there to protect it from getting scratched. Down here, this is where we're going to mount the little plastic piece that is where your bumper clips into. And then it's obviously got all the typical mounting points for, actual headlight. On the back here, we have a couple of adjusters. We've got a vertical adjuster and a horizontal adjuster here. And then we have a couple of different wiring harnesses. So most of these will plug into your factory plugs, except for this one right here. This is a DRL harness. This will plug into your INJ fuse. So I'll show where to do this, but I'm actually gonna wire mine into my Switch Pros so that I can turn these DRLs on and off with the flick of a switch. But yeah, they have this really nice wiring harness. I like that it's got a little bit of protection on it and these really nice waterproof clips. It'll make it super easy for installing this harness. Without further ado, don't want to really talk about this too much more than it needs to be. But yeah, these are the adjustments. So once you get the headlights installed, we're going to want to have access to these. Make sure these headlights are pointed correctly. Especially with a lifted vehicle, this is really important. And then on both headlights, we're going to need to get this plastic part mounted up on the front. So let's go pull my old headlights and put this piece in there so that these can be ready for install. So in order to finish installing these lights, I've pulled my old headlight and we just have to pull off this little plastic piece that fits on here. So it's just 3 Phillips bolts or screws. So all we have to do is just quick remove these. It doesn't take too long. I recommend just doing each side at the same time. So move the left side to the left new headlight and so on and so forth. It just makes transferring the plastic piece over easier because it's kind of a unique shape and you just want to make sure that you transfer it to the right headlight or else you might have some annoying delays. So all I'm doing here is pulling these 3 Phillips bolts, like I said, and then we'll move these over and I'll show you how to install them. The install is honestly really quite fast, and if you are curious on how to get to the point of taking out your stock headlights, it's going to basically be the reverse of installing, so it really goes quite quickly. So that headlight is good to go. We'll just pull this one over here now, and then it will line up on here just like how it was on the old headlight. So I'm just going to make sure some of this saran wrap doesn't get in the way. There's a couple of clear tabs. So you can see there's one here, there's one here, and when we put this on, those clear tabs push through a hole. So just want to make sure that this saran wrap's pulled back. It's not a big deal if it were to get pinched under there. I doubt it really matters, but might as well just get it done the right way the first time.
Honestly, this part is maybe slightly optional for me because I think like half the plastic clips on this part have broken since I've taken my front bumper off so many times, but whatever. It's good practice. Doesn't hurt anything for me to install these again into the headlight. So we'll get these put on both lights, and then all we need to do is get the DRL harness ran beforehand. There we go. Okay, one side done, one to go. Okay, well, I got this onto the other headlight, so just got those 3 screws put in as well. And then I also just took the time to throw a little ring terminal connector on the end of this wiring harness. So I didn't do anything too crazy. All we did was clip the end that had the fuse on it, and I actually cut it a little bit farther down the wire so, you know, I can save this and use it for something. But all I wanted was this to connect to my switch pros, and then these 2 wires will connect to each of the DRLs. So let's jump out to the truck and let's get this stuff installed. Okay, so to do this install properly, you can take off the whole front bumper, but I opted not to do that because it just takes a lot of extra work if you have a low pro bumper or one of these smaller low profile bumpers. And so what I did is you can just take off these 2 screws right here. There's one here and one a little lower. And then that exposes this bolt that's right here. So you can take that bolt out of there, and then it's super easy to get access to. This will pull back even farther, but I've just got some zip ties holding in the bottom area. Mine is not the same as a stock truck, and so mine doesn't have quite as much play, but there's definitely still a lot of play there. So once you get that one bolt out, there's a bolt right under this plastic that goes right in that plastic white area there. There's also another bolt that goes right here. And then there's also a bolt that goes right in here. And you can take off this front piece of fairing pretty easily. It's just 4 tabs right on the back side here. And that pops off super easily. So those tabs I'm talking about are right here, right here. I think there might be one in the middle, but there's definitely one right here and right here. Same on the other side. We've got this thread here, thread right up here. And then under this plastic, there's that one thread in there. And then we've got the 1 bolt hole on this side. Same exact thing on the other side. You just take out those 2 bolts and this will come loose. And that's really all you got to do. Then it's super exposed, really easy. Here's my DRL harness. I've already ran it. I just ran it with all the other wires under this area of my engine bay. And we've got the other side of it here, and then it's routed right up through and hooking into my DRL screw point. Now, let's say that you wanted to actually put this in your fuse box rather than a DRL spot like me. All you got to do is pop off your fuse box here, and then you're going to use the INJ location. So you can actually see I have an add a fuse in the INJ. This is the trigger for the switch pros, and then I just route it out the side just like that. So totally an option, you can do that, but I'm not doing that because I want all my DRLs on the truck to be on one switch. So put that back, and actually I've got like 7 or so DRLs, maybe 6. From different lights and whatnot that all hook up into this, so that's why this is kind of a mess. And the cutout here isn't big enough for all the grounds, so that's why it's a little bit messy, but works out. I like how it works. So all right, let's get these lights actually mounted up and I'll show you what they look like. So all of the original stock plugs are just dangling here as well. They'll be super easy to connect up. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've just got everything plugged in, and now I just like to test, make sure everything's working correctly. So these are the hazards, they're just turned on right now. And then we've got the low beams on. So low beams are these 2. This is a headlight. And yeah, I think the DRL on these is brighter than my Alpha X, which is pretty cool. So, all right, we've got these all wired up correctly. Now let's actually get them installed and bolted down. All right, so just to reiterate, we had the one bolt down here, the one bolt right up here, this bolt right here, a bolt right down in here, and then a clip right there. Sorry for the background noise. And then a clip right here, a bolt right here, a bolt right here, a bolt right down here on the side, and then the bolt that's like right under here. And then remember, got these two bolts on both sides. So that's the entire install. I think it turned out pretty sweet. And then if you try and unlock it, whew, those look good. So this angle probably looks a little bit funny, but I just want to try and show the low beams. So this is the low beams, and this is the high beams. That's the low beams again. So they're, honestly, they're not like the brightest headlights on the market, which I originally kind of wanted really bright headlights, but I think it kind of depends on where you're primarily driving, because if you're going to be driving on a lot of back roads, or you live out in the back country, then maybe the brightest headlights are what you're looking for. But for everyday use where you have to drive around a lot of extra traffic, I think you actually are gonna want something that's maybe not quite as bright as you think you would need. Having the off-road lighting is great. You know, that's a good way to supplement your lights when you need the light. But driving around town, it's kind of nice to not have the brightest lights out there, because it's just more considerate of other drivers. And so I tried to do my best to point these lights. I still need to fine tune them, being that they've just been put on my 4Runner a little bit ago. But so far I'm really liking how they've turned out. And this is with my DRLs on. Just wanted to show that quick. But the DRLs kind of just get in the way. So that is just kind of a quick little demo of driving with these lights. Hopefully that's helpful. Obviously the driving experience is going to look a little bit different no matter how someone films it. So, you know, don't take this as the only test. But I wanted to give a little bit of my experience of just driving with these lights, and hopefully you found this helpful.
Well, I knew they were going to be awesome. Those look absolutely sharp, especially with the DRLs from all of the diodynamic lights. These at night are absolute head turners. I'm so stoked to use these. And yeah, if you like these, I'll have them linked down below. I think they're super sweet, and go check out a set of these. Not a lot of people have them, so go be one of the first people to grab these, and you're going to turn heads, and people are going to be like, "Huh, I've seen the Morimoto and the Alpha Rex headlights, but I haven't seen these before. Those are really cool. What are those?" I think people are going to be asking a lot of those questions here in the near future. So thank you so much for watching. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, or you like this sort of content, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you all in the next video.